So one thing I was acutely aware of when I decided to write this editor was that I have no idea how much C code I might end up needing to interact with, depending on what it is I'm doing. I think a good example of that is actually that. So I have a clipboard implementation for the only native implementation I have currently that works is for macOS.
Mhm.
And so I had to write a little bit of Objective C to make that work, and then I wrote a little wrapper in V, and then, but that works natively, right? It's like there's no performance benefit because V transpiles to C. So effectively, I'm technically writing an editor in C in a way, and so there's no performance overhead, that kind of thing. That feels really nice too. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all that to say. I I don't maybe have a coherent exact like set of reasons, but it was mostly feeling, mostly trying things out.
Right.
Just going with my gut a lot of the time, and yeah, it kind of ended up being V. I think what I would say though, just to summarize, I guess, is what absolutely did not factor into any of my decision making was what was the flavor of the month, I guess, because that doesn't matter to me whatsoever. So yeah, and the other thing I guess I would quickly mention. I mean, we could talk about this again maybe sometime. I don't know.
Sure.
Depending on how OG you are, V has like a really bad taste in the mouth for some people and reputation, because of historical reasons mostly. And it's unfortunate. I mean, I guess I don't know how much you want to go over that now, or whatever, but yeah, I would say that if you want to know if a language does what you need it to do today, just literally go off and see if it does, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay attention to the marketing. Don't read the taglines. Don't trust some random YouTuber that like Brody that's telling you whether whether you should do something. Just go and look. Just open your eyes and figure it out yourself.
Honestly,
go,
like,
go and ask.
no, you should listen to me because that's what I tell people half the time. Like, whenever I'm looking at some like Linux desktop or anything like that, it's just like, I like it for this. Try it out. Like, it's gonna be, just see what it's like for you. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Find out what you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems obvious to us maybe, but I mean, again, the only reason it bears repeating is because people want the easy option, right? They just want to be told what to do. They want to be told what to like. Don't have to make the hard decisions. Tough luck. Life is hard. Programming is hard. You've got to pick your battle somewhere. If the language you choose is because it's like the only reason you choose it is because you really enjoy programming in it, but it's also a terrible choice for your domain. Keep that in mind. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you should choose that one then, but you've also got to remember that actually you might hate your life in 2 years or something because you've locked yourself into a horrible workaround system. So it's really just making those choices, and no one else will know the problem you're trying to solve better than you. I think anyway. So yeah, that's all I would say for that. I mean, V has a long, complicated history. I think there are still blog posts from like 5 years ago that are woefully outdated that people still point to now. It's actually, I don't know if this is something you add to podcast notes or anything, but there is a Hacker News thread. For some reason, someone posted my editor to Hacker News like ages ago. And it got quite a lot of traction there. And actually, I thought this would happen. I predicted it. There was some people coming onto that thread, not to talk about the editor, but to rant about the fact I decided to use V to make it, because they are some of the people that find it offensive that you choose it for anything. I can send you that as a link because that would be a good. It kind of is a good
about 2 months ago
case study of like how people feel about the language. Sorry,
from about 2 months ago.
Probably yeah. Maybe
found it.
Oh wow, that's fast. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. So on that thread, there's I even say I really hope this thread doesn't devolve into a stupid argument about V again, or something. So in there you see some fairly good, people trying to explain the history. I've noticed it a lot less nowadays. Like when I started working in the editor, there was certainly a lot more. I wouldn't say they're V haters. I think they were just. I don't know. Just to quickly summarize my like awareness of this, I guess, from like an outside point of view. I started looking into V about 2020 or so, like before I really used it for anything, and I remember reading a few articles about that because that was kind of when it was happening. Basically complaining that the language had been marketed as if the features that were planned or envisioned to be a thing were available in that moment. So people tried it out, hoping that those things were there, and then found out actually that they're not done yet, or they're not kind of finished yet, or something. Even though it was also kind of advertised very clearly that the language hadn't reached, the language isn't stable. Even today, it hasn't reached 1.0 yet, right?
Right.
I mean, the actual like syntax and the compiler and everything, that's been stable for years now. But it doesn't have to be. There's nothing to stop them from completely breaking my program tomorrow, if they want to.
Hopefully not.
But I'm accepting that because I'm aware that they haven't reached a stable standard yet. But it feels nice enough and it feels stable enough to use today. Anyway, so I don't know. I feel like if I was to find a new shiny language to try out tomorrow, I would go to the website. I would actually ignore like 90% of what it's claiming it can do.
Simple, clean, amazing language.
Yeah, it's like I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Like, just let me try it and see. I don't know. So anyway, that's kind of my. I think unfortunately that when it was advertised or first happened to be a thing, I think the author would be okay with me saying this. I think they were less experienced with the FOSS world and what people expect from open source software, and having kind of what's the word, optimistic. No, optimistic is the wrong word. Shit. I can't remember the phrase. I'm sorry, but yeah. Having it kind of claimed, aspirational things. Yeah. Having an aspirational set of features is almost the same thing as saying it does that today, apparently, from people's point of view. And so they kind of felt burned. I think they tried using it, they felt like they were being lied to or something, felt like it was a scam. But I don't understand that as well, because
I did see a lot of people saying things like, "Oh, it's vaporware," things like that.
Yeah, V for vaporware is a very popular phrase. I think that only made sense in the first 6 months of it being like publicly announced as a thing. I think initially it was announced the compiler was available, but the source code wasn't. And then people couldn't believe, like, sorry, I'm just gonna take a drink. Like the claims that the author was making were so like out of this world that people were like, well, this can't be how it works. That's just not possible or insane or something. And I think there's a well-hated like feature that was mostly advertised at the very beginning called Autofree for V, which is like the way that V deals with memory nowadays anyway, which is what I'm doing for Lily, or what I use for Lily, sorry, is V does have a tiny garbage collector. That I can turn off easily. I could, if I really wanted to, I could do arenas or something, like manual memory management kind of thing.
Sure.
But I find it's powerful enough that it doesn't seem to have any impact on anything that I'm doing. So and also the runtime that provides is way more efficient and smaller than something like the Go runtime, for example, right? So V with its garbage collector on can run in smaller places than I think the Golang programs could, kind of thing. So I think it requires like less kernel features or something. Anyway, so it's so the way it kind of works nowadays is that the Autofree is a feature that works, and it does the way it's supposed to work is it basically kind of infers where you need to clear memory or free memory, and it basically just auto inserts free statements for you.
Sure.
And that's very hard to do for like an entire program. It's basically impossible because again, there's the whole thing problem, right? You don't know, given a program, how can you ever specify when it will actually terminate?
Sure.
I think is how it goes or something. And I don't know. I'm not a compiler author. I'm not a language designer, but that's my understanding. It's an unsolved problem. And to V's credit, all they wanted to do was just to see. They didn't. I guess it kind of espousing what we're going on about in a way. They were told by the status quo, this is an impossible to solve problem. We've been trying the last 50 years to solve this halting problem. You're never going to be able to have it so that a compiler can also, like 100% of the time, just automatically insert free statements or something. And they just like, okay, well, let me try. I don't know if that's true. Like, you're just telling me that's true, right? I think that's commendable. That you literally, that's like how everything should be. That's science. That's like literally what we should be doing, I think. So it turns out that yes, the halting problem is a hard problem to solve. And unfortunately, they haven't solved it. So makes sense, right? But they tried, and so now the situation is, so Autofree was originally supposed to be the whole, the whole solution. Can't do that. So now, Autofree is, I think it's like 95% or maybe 99% of all the allocations get freed by it. But anything that's left dangling, just in case there is stuff around, there is a garbage collector.
Sure.
So the garbage collector actually also has way less work than it otherwise would have done if Autofree wasn't a thing, right? So like with Go, it's the only solution. So the garbage collector is the only thing you have. It has to run all the time. It has to go and collect everything. Whereas in my program, I mean, I haven't checked exactly, but it maybe runs like, I don't know, 10% of the time that the Go one would run or something, or sorry, take us 10% as much time because it's got way less stuff to clear up. I don't know. I haven't checked. I don't honestly need to care. Like, as far as I know, when I run Lily, it doesn't use loads of memory. It doesn't use loads of CPU. It seems to run fast. It does what I want it to do. Great, whatever, right? That's all that matters to me. So I don't, the minutiae of like exactly how many bytes it's allocated in certain places and why or whatever, it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't really matter to anyone that's sane either. So I think the only reason you go into that level of like complaining is if you're a religious zealot and you have like a fan base somewhere else or something or whatever. You've tied your allegiance to a language, so anything else daring to exist is offensive to you, and so it's your life mission now to go and like dispute it or to try and complain about it in any way possible, basically. And I think it's a complete waste of time. What the fuck are you doing? So yeah, sorry.